Hi everyone, this is Rhea Se from Remax Westcoast. Did you know that the square footage of many property listings is not accurate? And that condo buyers can accidentally pay a lot more money based on the incorrect square footage? You can imagine that when a buyer pays good money for his property, thinking that he's getting a fair price at a certain price per square foot, but then later realizes that his home is smaller than expected and he was duped into paying thousands of dollars more, the feeling of getting ripped off is pretty bad. In particular for condo listings, the main reason for inaccurate square footages being advertised is because a lot of listing realtors do not hire a company to properly measure a condo unit to get its size dimensions. Rather, it is so much easier and cheaper to just copy the size dimensions from the strata plan, which is provided by the developer. But the problem is that the strata plan was created and submitted to the authorities before the condo building was actually built. Sometimes during the course of construction, the developer needs to make design changes and adjustments, but they were not properly updated on the existing strata plan. So it is quite common for a condo unit's size dimensions to be off by 5 to 8%. Many realtors who are aware of the size difference choose to hire a separate company to measure the condo unit, and they provide measurements from both the company and the strata plan, so that potential buyers have more rather than less information. So I've seen lots of condo units that have 5 to 8% more actual area than stated on the strata plan. And there are many that are 5 to 8% less in size as well. How big can the price difference be? Well, I was recently helping my client purchase a condo. I found a very similar, comparable property across the street that just sold a few days prior at $646 per square foot. I took this figure, $646, and multiply it by the total square floor area as stated in the MLS listing, which was 1,300 square feet. The dimension was taken from the strata plan and was advertised as the condo size. So $646 times 1,300 square feet, which equals $839,000. However, the listing realtor also had hired a company to measure the condo, but he provided the actual size dimension on the floor plan document, which was not readily available to the public. I saw this actual size dimension, which was 1,230 square feet or 70 square feet less. It might not sound like a lot, but if you take $646 and multiply that by 1,230, which is the actual size, you get $794,580. Wow, a difference in 70 square feet can yield a price differential of $45,220. That's why buyers who are purchasing a comparable property and relying on a calculated price per square foot need to have an accurate measurement of the condo size dimensions. Just relying on the strata plan can be a problem if you are expecting the condo to be of a certain size and it is actually less than advertised. From what I've seen, this problem is less prevalent among townhouse and single detached house listings. Because of the larger size and complexities in the home layout, many of these listings tend to have floor plans as part of the marketing package. So generally speaking, the listing agent would be more inclined to pay a company to properly measure townhouses and detached homes, especially if the home is not brand new and the developer's floor plan is no longer readily available. If knowing the accurate size of the property is important to you, you should definitely consider hiring your own measuring company to measure it properly. This can be done after the offer acceptance phase and the buyer is doing their due diligence to confirm whether they are satisfied with all aspects of the unit. If you find out after purchasing your home that the actual size is smaller than advertised and you want to get some kind of compensation from the seller, it could be challenging. The Greater Vancouver Realtors Real Estate Board requires that our standard real estate contracts should have a clause in there stating that the buyer acknowledges the source of where the property square footage was taken. So if you acknowledge in your sales contract that the source was from the strata plan or from whatever measuring company, That is what you acknowledge and legally accept as part of your purchasing decision. It's worth pointing out, if there are several comparable listings in the same building that also rely on the same strata plan and they have sold very recently, then figuring out the actual size dimensions may be less useful. Because even though all the sold listings on the other floors may be off in terms of the actual size, they are like cookie cutter homes built in the same condo project. So any size differential is relative, and it is much easier to compare apples to apples to apples in this scenario. Plus, the sellers most likely will have their price expectations set by the other sold properties in the same building, rather than the sales price per square foot from 2 streets over or elsewhere in the neighborhood. Another important point is that not all buyers are super keen about paying the purchase price based on a comparable price per square foot. Many people buy a property because they love it for the lifestyle that it will give them. It could be the lovely renovations, extra upgrades, fantastic feng shui, if that's what they believe, location to whatever that is important to them, etc. Balancing the appropriate price per square foot along with all the specific features of a given property unit. This is a very important conversation that all buyers should have with their realtors in finding the right home at the right price for themselves. If you have any specific questions about determining the right purchase price or would just like to talk about your own real estate situation, please feel free to contact me anytime. I would be happy to share my real estate knowledge with you and help you buy your dream home. See you next time.